Hello, I'm Amelia and I love to sew. Today I'm going to be talking about an outfit that I'm making for the Instagram pink and red party that's being organised by Megan from Pigeon Wishes. I sort of thought, don't need an excuse to make a fancy outfit, even though I'm not leaving my house at the moment because we're in lockdown 3 currently in the UK. So my first thought was to make this outfit, I'm going to put a picture on the screen, worn by Malin Ackerman at an event, I don't know when, a few years ago, but I've had it pinned to a Pinterest board because I really love it for ages. And I was seriously considering making the full, t-shirt with the cape and everything. But then I thought, am I really going to wear that? Not that we should always make things that are going to make it into regular rotation in our wardrobes necessarily. We all love a bit of frosting as well as cake. But I also thought maybe I could sort of tweak it a bit to make the outfit a bit more wearable. So I decided to take the inspiration of the colour blocking. And I'd actually done a couple of, I'll put the pictures in here, a couple of Instagram stories about different coloured trousers because I don't really I don't wear red at all. So if I was going to make the outfit, I wasn't necessarily going to do the red trousers. And so I thought about bright green or bright blue or even mustard. So I did a sort of few shoddy colouring in jobs to mock it up. So I'll put those in here. But then I remembered that when I made my corduroy suit a couple of years ago now for the socialite party in Bristol, one of my main inspirations was this pink suit that Claire Foy wore somewhere, red carpet somewhere. And I suddenly thought, maybe this is my excuse to make a pink suit. And I did, again, seriously consider that. But then I found this other picture of Claire Foy, because I was Googling Claire Foy's suit, and I found her in this amazing velvet suit that has more of a sort of smoking jacket. And I just was totally smitten from the first second. So I've decided to do that. But with the colour blocking. So I'm doing a pink jacket and blue trousers. Because I thought about doing pink trousers as well, but I don't think, although I like pink and I do wear pink occasionally, less now than a couple of years ago probably, I thought blue trousers are more likely to make it into real regular rotation in my wardrobe. So yes, I will now start on the drafting / pattern hacking section of the project. So for the jacket portion of the outfit, I've got 2 patterns in mind. I've got the Ready to Sew Joe jacket, which I've already made up in corduroy as part of my suit, which has got a bit squashed in my wardrobe, and the Nina Lee London Richmond jacket. So I think I'm going to put them both on and see which I think will be a better starting point for the sort of smoking type jacket. I am wearing quite a thick jumper today, but it's really cold and I'm not going to take it off, so it's probably going to be a bit tight, but mess. By the way, since I took the photos of this for my blog, I have actually top stitched this whole edge sort of all the way around the lapels and around the back, because it's just I shouldn't have bought such a synthetic fabric basically, because it's just too spongy and it doesn't want to press nicely. So I think I would need to size, I don't know if I would need to size up or if it's just the jumper, but I like the narrower lapels on this, but it does have quite a wide collar, whereas on the pictures, the few pictures that you can see the back of Claire Foy's jacket, it has quite a narrow collar. I would obviously need to it's easier to take out the welt pockets and put in patch pockets, and I would need to extend both sides so that that side comes to about there, because it's sort of where the pocket would start really, so like there maybe. Now this is the Joe jacket. I mean, it does have an option with narrower lapels, so I would definitely do that instead of making the gigantic lapels again, although I do love the gigantic lapels. I didn't bother doing buttons on the Richmond jacket either, but this one does have buttons. See, it has a narrower collar, so I wouldn't have to fiddle with that, because I don't know if my pattern drafting skills are yet up to fiddling with a collar on a jacket. I also like the length of this better. Oh, I didn't show you the length of the other one. I mean, they're both quite long, but this seems like a better length for how long the actual jacket is in the picture. So I think I'm probably going to use the Joe jacket as a starting point. So then you need to sort of extend the front sort of, I mean, I can't get it around because my bum is in the way, but to sort of there basically. So it needs to be, I'm going to need to do some maths. So the centre front, both centre fronts need to extend by sort of this much basically, because if I put the patch pockets basically where these pockets are, I think that would be the best way to measure where to put those. Yeah, so there needs to be like this much extra. And then I don't know if I need to alter the lapels. I mean, obviously I'm going to toile this all in calico, and see if I can just leave the lapels as they are and just put the fold point higher up, or if I'll need to like alter them. I'm hoping I can just fiddle it and make them like fold a bit higher up. But yeah, we'll see. There we go. To the pattern drafting. Okay, so these are the two front pattern pieces. So I'll need this piece to figure out the pocket placement, although I might just do that once it's sewn up. So I'll just put that to one side for now. So this is the front piece. So I'm thinking the best thing to do is to basically cut all the way up, maybe on the what will be the centre front line, almost to here, because I don't want to mess up this shape because it won't fit against the other piece. Don't want to mess up this because it's the armhole. This is the shoulder, and this is where the collar and the facing go. So obviously any changes I make to this piece I'll also make to the facing piece, but I think the best thing to do is to cut all the way up and then pivot out, because the lapel does need to go further over, but I don't want to mess up this, so I'll just cut to like here and move this whole front line out 3 or 4 centimetres, and then mock that up and see what that does. Here I am marking a line directly parallel to the straight front edge, 1.5 inches away. I've sped up this footage here as it's not the most scintillating thing to watch at full speed. I then cut up that line from the bottom edge almost to the top edge, but leaving the pieces attached. Next, I got some spare paper to fill in the gap where the pattern needs to spread. I marked 2 points 6 centimetres apart in the rough middle of the piece of paper to line up the split pieces too. I measured the 6 centimetre level with the break point of the lapel, which means there's more width added at the hem. I then stuck the paper at the measured part, making sure that both sides were lying as flat as possible. I didn't want any ripples or for the two halves to not be completely lined up, as that could mean the pattern ends up distorted. I added some more paper to fill in the rest of the gap created in the pattern. Next, it was time to do a toile, or muslin, to check whether my pattern slashing and spreading technique was the right thing to do. So, I've got my altered front piece, which I've straightened the bottom edge of, and so I'm going to cut out my toile, but I'm just doing, I've got the front side, and then the back, and the back side. I'm not going to bother putting sleeves on because I'm just checking how this sits, so I'll just quickly cut that out and sew it up. I laid the 4 pattern pieces I needed on the calico, making sure it was in the most economical way. I hate wasting fabric, even if it's only calico. I'm not going to lie, I was pretty pleased when all the pieces fit next to each other, because the calico is really wide. Once I was happy with the pattern placement, I pinned the pieces down. Then cut them out. I'm a scissors and pin girl, not a rotary cutter girl, though I do have one. I then pinned the pieces together and stitched them, using whatever thread was already in my machine with a wide stitch length, so it would be easier to unpick if I needed to make fitting changes as I went along. The front side gets stitched to the altered front, the back side gets stitched to the centre back, and then you join these two on the shoulders and side seams. Easy when you're not doing sleeves or pockets or the collar or facings. I marked the break point from the pattern on the toile on both sides. Then ironed the lapels backwards to get an idea of how they will sit on the real version. I will measure it more carefully on the proper one. So I sewed up the toile. I didn't bother with the sleeves, and actually when I was putting the other version on I figured I wanted to kind of raise the sleeves a bit, but actually now I've got this on it seems okay. And the sort of rotating the front actually seems to have worked. Who knew? I've got this dressing gown cord so I can see how it works. Yeah, there we go. When I first tried this on I thought I was going to maybe add a bit of extra fullness to the back, but I actually don't think I need to, because the side seams are exactly where they're supposed to be, the front's where it's supposed to be. I just pressed the lapels back to get an idea of where it would be. So yeah, just moving the front. It makes sense why in the original pictures of Claire Foy she doesn't have a top underneath, and just by doing what I did to the pattern, that automatically means that it meets high enough that you could definitely modestly wear this without anything underneath. So yeah, there we go. So I'm going to mark the pockets. Maybe it needs to overlap slightly less, so the pockets will go sort of here and the equivalent place here. Because in the original pattern they go across this seam here anyway, so I might just use that as a sort of guideline and mark how big I want the pockets. Yeah, there we go. Onto the proper fabric.